Hello, my name is Stephen York. I am the pastor of the United Methodist Church in Stonington, Maine. In today's sermon, I'm talking about a verse from the Psalms, "Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning," along with the story of Jesus' first miracle at the wedding of Cana of Galilee, in which he turned water into wine. I'm preaching today about live, laugh, and love. In the midst of all the pressure in life, it's important to keep a good sense of humor and to deal with our lives not just with seriousness, but with playfulness. And I trust that today, no matter what you're going through, that you'll take a moment to stop and to live, laugh, and love. Thank you so much for watching. The 30th chapter, weeping may linger for a night, but joy comes with the morning. And then from verse 11, you have turned my mourning into dancing. You have taken off my sackcloth and clothed me with joy, so that my soul may praise you and not be silent. O Lord my God, I'll give thanks to you forever. This summer, when I went to get the biography of Lincoln signed by George McGovern, I found him to be very interesting. He's a true historian. He has a PhD in history and wrote an excellent biography of Lincoln. And so I had a book order with me, as you will recall, if you heard me tell this story, where Ray McCaskey and Dick Paget and a couple of people wanted copies of the book signed, and they were very pleased when I came back when they were inscribed. I mean, it said to Ray McCaskey, and signed by George McGovern and to Richard Paget and other people. But I found that one of the most interesting stories that George McGovern told me that day about Abraham Lincoln was during the height of the Civil War, which was a horrible, horrible war, folks. This is Veterans Day this week, and it was an awful time of division in our nation. And so you can imagine President Lincoln, who already struggled with serious depression himself personally. He had a condition of depression. In fact, McGovern said that he wouldn't keep knives around himself because he was afraid he'd do himself in. It's possible to be a great person and still struggle with depression, struggle with all kinds of various complex problems, but a great man Lincoln was. He told the story, McGovern told the story that day about the time when a group of mothers came to the Civil War, during the Civil War, to the President's office, the Oval Office. Now, in those days, it was a much simpler affair to get in to see the President. You just showed up at the White House and kind of sat around, and eventually he'd get to see you. Those days are long gone, as we know. If you showed up to see the President today, they'd probably get a paddy wagon and get your head examined or something, or lock you up. But this group of mothers came on behalf of their concerns and many other women's concerns about what was happening to the Union soldiers and the needs that the Union soldiers had. And so they're waiting like we all would wait for someone important. But they're near the Oval Office, and they hear from inside the Oval Office, after waiting a while, people begin to laugh. And the president was laughing. Lincoln was laughing at something funny that was said to him in the Oval Office. Well, I can tell you that those women had their hackles raised, and they began in a self-righteous attitude to say, how dare the President of the United States laugh while our soldiers are dying on the battlefields in this Civil War? And they had no compunction. When it was their turn to go into the Oval Office, they let Lincoln have it. I mean, they had redressed him up one side and down the other, according to McGovern. And Lincoln listened to them for a while, and then he said very wisely, he said, you know, you're right. There are horrible things going on in our country. And the shedding of blood on both sides is horrible. But I have to tell you, my dear ladies, that if occasionally I did not laugh in this position, I would lose my mind. And they thought that was the best answer and left the Oval Office that day, and you know how things go. They told everyone what a great president we had, and that he recognized the seriousness of the war, but that he took time to laugh. He took time to take care of himself. I think Victor Borger's thought on laughter, that it is the shortest distance between two people, is a wonderful quotation. There are many stresses that we all face in our lives. And if we had to deal with them constantly without taking a break, I wonder if we, like Lincoln said, might lose our minds. There are times when I just cannot bear to open another news bulletin. This week has been particularly difficult in Fort Hood, with the loss of our soldiers there by one of our own, and then in Florida at a high-rise. It's almost like there are times when I have to say, stop. I don't think I can handle any more news at the moment. The words of that psalm, the 30th Psalm, have gotten me through some tough times. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. There is no doubt that there's times that are very difficult for all of us. And they come at the most inconvenient moments of our lives. I have never found a time when it was convenient for something wrong to go wrong. Have you? Never. I mean, I'm minding my own business. I think I'm doing okay. And yet, something happens. And it's so totally unexpected that the pressure is on.